Hi, I'm here to talk to you about AWS Code Build. So I was originally inspired to look into this topic after we did the AWS case study. I wanted to see what other things they offered, and I stumbled upon AWS Code Build, which I find really interesting because when you think about all the technology that we have and all the apps and websites and all the different things that we go to, it's all code. So I was really interested to see, like, what does Amazon offer for developers to be able to use. So to start off, what is Code Build? So according to Amazon, AWS Code Build is a fully managed build service that compiles source codes, runs tests, and produces software packages that are ready to be deployed. So essentially what that means is Code Build allows developers to build, host, and test code until it's ready to be deployed. So one really cool thing that they do actually is after the code is in, so when it's in its like trial period, it runs the code and it tells the developers if there's any errors and where they need to go fix it. So to link into that, why use Code Build? So Code Build offers you a server, so that's not something you have to deal with on your own. You also don't have to handle any of the software or server hardware. So if something goes wrong, it's not on you, it's on Amazon to figure out and fix it for you, so that's a big plus. Especially if you're a more technical person, you may not be aware of how the hardware works. Security. So hosting on Amazon security, you're less likely to get hacked than doing your own server just because of the protection level that they have, which is really important because nobody wants to get hacked. So then another really cool thing is once the code is done and tested and ready to be deployed to the end user, it actually runs the code for you instead of having to like manually change things. So like one example of that would be is it automatically scales to your volume in real time. So let's say you're trying to track an application software tracking service, and you need added volume because you have so many applications coming in. With Code Build, it will actually change the volume to accommodate all your new users for you. So it's not something you have to manually go in and change, which is awesome because especially if you're a small business, you may not be aware of all the volume that you might be getting, and it's going to change over time. So it's something that it does for you. So what is the price of Code Build? It's actually pretty inexpensive. They charge you based on a couple different levels, like the memory that you use, whether you use Linux or Windows to build. So like if you've taken a computer science class, that little black box that you write the code in, that's kind of like what the Linux or the Windows would be. So you just it's a little black box, and then you just start typing out your code, and then it builds a website at the end, or an app if you're savvy. So when you actually pull it all together, if you have 100 builds in a month, which takes you about 5 minutes, then when you add it all out, you multiply it all out, you subtract the free minutes that you're offered, and you multiply by the price, it's actually about $2 a month, which is pretty inexpensive for all the different things that Code Build allows you to do. Granted, it is integrated with the other services that AWS offers, so they'll definitely get you more there, especially with the cloud. If you host information on that, that'll be a little bit pricier than just hosting and testing the code. So then how to use Code Build. Code Build starts off as a form, and it has drop-down menus, so it's something you or I could figure out from the beginning. You do things like product name, add a description, so you can make it Helen's app or MIS website. It can be whatever you want, whatever you're building. And then it allows you to pick where you build, so you can host it on Amazon or it allows you to do external sites as well. And then the environment, so how to build it. So in this example, it's using Java as the language, but it also hosts Python. I know a lot of developers actually like using Python as the language. It's complicated, but they like it. And then you can also use like Ruby or PHP or Docker. And then you can change the operating system. And you can change the URL to be helensapp.com or helensapp.org, whatever. You also have to purchase that separately, but it allows you to change that. So then this is what the code actually looks like. So you can see in this example, the name of their app is Message Utility Java Sample App. And it has all the different code, and it's just kind of an example, and this is where you can change the color and the layout and add all the different pages to it. And then finally, I used a customer testimonial from a company who's actually in applicant software. So they track resumes for you. And so they felt that this is the one that they wanted. They were able to run parallel systems in their tests. And there was no need for a queue, and their developers didn't have to wait at all. So they were able to just get in their build. There was no wait time, and they were able to test it, find the errors that were necessary, and deploy it to the public, which as a business, the end goal is to get your product out, and using code build, it made it very easy.